Welcome to another edition of Diary of a Wannabe Comedian with me, Belle, a wannabe comedian. And I am laughing because I've had a bit of a lecture this week from Jamie Jackson. I say lecture. He put something on social media saying if you're doing stand-up, you're standing on a stage and you're telling jokes, you are not a wannabe comedian, you are a comedian. So I'll take that. Although I have to say, with the gigs that I've had 3 since we last spoke. The gigs I've had have been very up and down, and I question whether I am really a comedian or not. So Monday was Full Frontal comedy down at Windsor and Eton, and that was not bad. It was a real audience, which is nice. They were quite subdued and smiley, not an awful lot of laughing. But as I say, I put that down to me and my technique. Apologies if you can hear that drilling and stuff in the background, but there is nothing I can do about it. I'm actually off today because I've been to physio, so I'm doing my podcast early because I'm going out with Alexander tonight for some food, and so I have to do it in the day, and this drilling is all day long. Anyway, back to Full Frontal. Yeah, so it was a good gig. I met a nice lady, Lindsay, who is a writer. I'm looking forward to seeing when her books get published. She was telling me all about them. And I think what went down particularly well was my opening joke, because obviously with the Russell Brand thing, I thought it was appropriate to mention it. And I simply said something like, thank you for inviting me to your lovely pub in Windsor and Eton. And then I said, you probably know this, that Eton has produced 20 prime ministers, including Boris Johnson. And then I just said, but don't worry, I've checked, Russell Brand studied in Woking. And that did actually go down very well. And I also ad-libbed a little bit in one of my opening jokes and added in a reference to Anton Deck. And that worked too, which was good. This is in complete contrast to Tuesday, where I totally stunk the place out. It was awful. That was We Are Funny project over in Dalston. And in Dalston, I modified one of my other jokes, because obviously Eton and Windsor is not going to work anywhere other than Eton and Windsor. So I modified one I have around consent. Now, bear in mind, this is an award-winning joke. I actually have a certificate to prove it's an award-winning joke. I modified it slightly to bring it up to date with Russell Brand, and it bombed. It's like the faces were, nope, we are in Dalston, we are not going to laugh at anything like that. That is just simply not funny. There is no humour there in this at all. And it was just, it was dreadful. To the point I came home and I just dived straight into the fridge. Now I haven't done that for a long time, but it made me feel really, it was horrible. Anyway, let's move on from that to last night, which was Heavenly Comedy. Now I've done that one before. And do you know the weird thing? I woke up in the morning, because when I did it last time, it was absolutely pouring down and I got soaked. I mean, it was one of those where it was just continuous rain. And I woke up in the morning and thought, well, at least I'm not going to get wet tonight. That's a bonus. Oh my goodness me, middle of the afternoon, the rain starts. Apparently it's the tail end of some, hurricane. Tail end of a hurricane or something. Anyway, the rain was exactly the same as last time. It was constant. It's just horrible because it's 2 long bus journeys because I'm too tight. I like to pay £1.75 to get anywhere in London, which is how much a hopper ticket is. And so it was 2 long, steamy, wet buses. It was horrible. When I got there, I have to say I had a good experience last time. The gig was really good for me. But it was interesting because the MC runs the night basically for herself. She's literally showcasing her own comedy. And that was fine. She was doing her entire Edinburgh Fringe show in 5-minute slots between each act. And I guess that's her prerogative. It was a bit wearing because last time it was about colonialism and the fact that she was born in Kenya, and it just really went on and on and on, really slating the Brits, and I just sort of, you can have so much of that, let's put it that way. So, and fair enough, if that's the way she feels, fair enough, but it is very wearing. And when there was 5 minutes in between each act, it was quite wearing. And I thought, well, this time that's fine. Edinburgh's over. She will clearly be doing something different. Rock up. And she announced that she's writing her next Edinburgh show. So she did 5 minutes in between each, and the topic this time was about colonialism of Kenya. I was quite shocked, particularly when you know she's married to an Englishman and has lived here many years. I just don't understand it. It's clearly a real passion for her, and I do understand this, but think of something else to do comedy about, please, because it was driving me nuts. But that said, I had another reasonable gig. Not as good as last time. I did try and bring in an old joke that I've done before about a book, because there was a guy there who sells or trades in very expensive books, but I forgot it. So it didn't work very well, but people found that just as funny, the fact that I forgot it. But there you go. So that's my week in comedy. Speak to you on Monday. Much love and gratitude.